Hi, in this video we're going to actually run the meta-analysis. So we have hit copy here and we opened up the Google Colab in a new tab, and from here we can hit this meta ID. We're going to hit Control Enter. It's going to say, beware, this notebook was not Google, not authored by Google, was not Googled by author. And we'll be able to hit run on all of these cells by hitting Shift Enter, or we can hit the was it Control F9? But yes, we can use a shortcut, or you can go up here and say run all, which says, yeah, Control F9. And if we run all, it'll download the environment that we need to have. So this will install Nightmare and related packages for us to use, and then it will run the actual meta-analysis for us here. Since we're running with MKDA density with the FDR corrector, it shouldn't take too long for us to run this meta-analysis, especially since there's only 28 studies involved. And from here, we can wait, get a coffee, think about all of the time that we saved by using NeuroSynth Compose versus trying to keep track of everything in Excel sheets, and think about how much easier this was instead of having to figure out all of these different components of a meta-analysis that are not related to asking my question or my actual academic thought processes. I get to put more of my brain power towards the actual difficult questions that I want to have answered instead of figuring out why a comma is in the wrong place. Okay, once that is completed, we can view it back in the platform. This will take us back to the meta-analysis, and we have these pages loaded. Each one of these tabs, which I called pages before, contains a brain map that links us to NeuroVault, which we can go to NeuroVault to observe the maps on NeuroVault, and these are all shareable to any collaborators or when you put it in a publication, you can link to the images themselves. We do recommend, however, that you link to the meta-analysis results, since this will give you the link to NeuroVault and the specification and everything else that you have. But they all link back to each other, so whatever you share for the publication, you'll be able to access all the parts. But we do recommend this page over the NeuroVault's page, since that makes it easier to access everything else. Okay, this one doesn't have any negatives, but we have a nice image here that we can scroll through and observe, like, yes, this looks like the activation pattern for MBEC. We got some prefrontal, and we can look at the three-dimensional brain here to get a sense of whether or not this series of activation patterns, or I guess overlaps of coordinates being reported, make sense to us. When I said we had different maps here, we have the corrected, or the Z, or the P, or the raw masked value map. Typically you want the corrected map for reporting and for doing all your analyses on. One more thing, we also ran an interactive report in the Google Colab, which you can view through here. So this gives you a little bit more debuggable, more information. So you can look at the brain map through this interactive interface, see, wow, there's some coordinates that are pretty outside the brain. Maybe I should look at those. And well, gotta go over here, so keep scrolling down. This will tell us some other interactive components that we can look at, some more brain images, some of the clusters that were defined from this meta-analysis if you wanted to report that information. And here's like a focus counter, so how much each study contributed to the clusters that were pulled out before, so you can see if a particular study has a particular overweight, is particularly overweight in its contribution to a particular ROI or cluster that was defined from this analysis. And here is a nice little blurb that you can take to copy paste to your method section. And some of the articles linking to the software and the other methods that you chose to use for this meta-analysis. And with that, you have successfully ran your first meta-analysis. So give yourself a pat on the back and now go back and double check all your work, since the one that we ran was just to show off the platform and not actually to publish a meta-analysis. But hope to see you asking questions on Neurostars or through feedback, and reaching out to us. We really want to see people get used out of this platform. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it, so we would like to save everyone else some blood, sweat, and tears by making meta-analyses easier. All right, I'll probably have more videos about specific features of the website forthcoming, but this is the basic workflow that we have for our platform, and there is so much more to come.